Welcome to my 30-day Pranayama challenge. Today is day 15, and since we've been talking about structural breath, Jerry's going to help me today. Since we've been talking about structural breath for the past couple of days, I wanted to continue with that conversation and actually talk about the application of structural breath in asana practice. So what we're looking at here is how to use the breath in the chest on your inhale, and then how to engage the abdomen on the exhale, and then how that is supported to the structure, right? So I'm not sure if you can see me on Facebook. On Instagram, it looks like the picture is pretty good. On Facebook, it looks a little dark. And I think I want to adjust the camera just a little bit. So let me see if this helps. It's hard to get everything right here. So, okay, I think that's a little better. So here's what I want to show you. I'm so sorry, I don't know why I'm adjusting this morning. I do know why. It's because the allergies that are a little intense. And this room I just had finished. And so it's kind of still full of sawdust. So I'm sorry, it's a little off this morning. It'll be good for me to do structural breath. So here's the thing. Here's this sort of test that I love using that I learned from my teacher, Gary Kraftso, to help you understand this difference between belly breathing and structural breath in asana. And so you can try this yourself. And for those of you who are teachers, I encourage you to teach it because it's really useful to understand this difference, right? So we did belly breathing where we're trying to really inhibit the secondary respiratory musculature and certainly the tertiary respiratory musculature, keeping all this, still and letting the belly breathe, right? Very grounding breath, excellent breath for anxiety, very useful, right? So as you're breathing in, you inhibit and just the abdomen is working, right? Now, structural breath is almost the opposite. As you're breathing in, you feel the ribs lifting up out of the hips. I shouldn't say it's the opposite, it's different, right? And as you exhale, you let the ribs soften and you let the abdomen draw in, right? So these are different applications. Now, here's what we're going to do today. Place your hands, because hands are so useful for this, right? Hands help to increase your interoceptive capacity and your proprioceptive capacity. So you place your hands on your abdomen here, right? And as you inhale, inhibit all this musculature, just breathing into the belly, let the arms come out to the sides. And as you exhale, let them come back, okay? So we'll do that again. So as you inhale, letting the abdomen move out, let the arms come out to the side. Now, is there any connection between your arms and your breath? That's what I want you to notice. Inhibit all this. Is there any connection between the arms and the breath? Probably some. But now let's look at the difference. Now place your hands here on your chest. Keep the abdomen a little bit toned. And as you breathe in, fill up your chest and lift the ribs up off of the hip. And then let the hands come back to your chest again. I hope you're doing this with me. So we'll do it again. So breathe in, lift the ribs up out of the hips, let the arms expand. Then as you exhale, let them come back. And we'll keep that going for a few more breaths. So you're feeling the whole 360 degrees of the rib cage lifting up out of the hips on the inhale. And when you exhale, you're toning the abdomen, letting the arms come in. Let's do that one more time. Now, place your hands back on your belly. Inhibit the secondary respiratory musculature. So don't allow this to expand very much, and instead breathe as if you're breathing into your belly. You feel the difference? It's almost like your arms and your breath are independent when you're doing belly breathing. Whereas when you're doing structural breath, the breath moves the spine and the spine moves the limbs, right? That is such a useful phrase to remember. The breath starts to move my spine, it starts to expand the thoracic spine, And then my spine starts opening my arms out to the side. So let's try it in another one. This time, belly breathing again. So inhibit the musculature in the chest, right? And let the arms float up as you breathe into your belly. And however they float up, doesn't have to be like perfect straight arms, however they float up is fine. So doing that again, breathing into the belly, letting the arms float up. Now, the next one is to keep the abdomen tone, breathe into the secondary respiratory musculature. Use that to breathe into your lungs, right? And use the musculature to lift the ribs up off the hips. Now do it with the arms raising. And belly tones on the exhale. Very different experience. If you didn't get the difference in the experience, then I suggest that you replay this video a few times until you start to feel it. A very important understanding to me that came to me after doing this work, actually when I started doing the work and after doing the work for a while, is that it's very difficult to make a judgment about breathing and subtle asana practices based on one experience. You have to do it several times to start. And I tell new people who come to my classes, I'm like, you gotta come 10 times before you're gonna, for many people, they have to come 10 times before they start to notice the effects of these practices. And once they know it, and once they notice it, there's no going back, because it's so different than practicing asana as fitness or as exercise. It's an entirely different way of practicing, and it has this powerful, very beneficial effect on the physiology of the nervous system. So tomorrow I want to talk a little bit about contraindications of structural breath, because there are some, and I'm going to tell you some stories about people who've had challenges with structural breath and things that I've encountered along the way. So I hope that will be helpful, because like with any practice, some practices are applicable at certain times and some practices are not applicable at other times. So what I would suggest for tonight is, as you're doing some asana, like do cobra or do Chakravakasana, sunbird pose, or even just this, the arms up and arms down pose, and do it with structured breath, and notice and just see. And please leave a comment and let me know how it's going. Okay, before I finish today, don't forget, I have a workshop coming up this weekend. We still have a few spots left. You can contact me or Stacy. And it's at One Center Yoga, which actually it's now the Embodiment Center in Asheville. The neurobiology of embodiment. I'm so excited about this material. Can't wait to share it with you. Okay, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.